Welcome, ciao, this is Davide Travelli, Alaska to Patagonia. Today is raining, so it's a good chance to talk about rain gear because a few people asked me. And more than rain gear, we should call it weather protection because this piece of gear is gonna protect us from the rain, from the snow, from the wind, from a combination of the three. It's gonna help us when we do very long descents. If we are on top of a high pass at 4,000, 5,000 meters above the sea level, and we have to do like a few hours of descent, it's very cold, so it's better to have some protection that keeps us warm. There are two ways to go about, or you either go very cheap or you go very expensive. I wouldn't suggest to stay in the middle because there's no point. So the very cheap stuff, it's usually plasticky stuff that you can pick up for a few euros, or expensive stuff that is made with a three-layer material, and we are talking about Event, Elite, Gore-Tex. The pros of the cheap stuff is that it's cheap. It's usually waterproof. Even if you buy a plasticky jacket or pants, just make sure that the seams are taped, and then it protects you against the water, the rain, the snow. The only problem is that it doesn't breathe. These materials don't breathe because it's plastic, so your sweat is gonna eventually make you wet. You will be wet inside, not from the rain, but due to your sweating. The Gore-Tex, let's simplify and call them Gore-Tex material, breathe, so you should be able to be protected from the rain, from the snow, but also your sweat should be able to leave the jacket, the pants, and so you shouldn't feel wet inside because of your sweating. That's in theory, because in practically these materials are not as magic as they seems to be, but they have some limitation. For example, you have to maintain them, you have to keep them very clean. There is a range where they perform very well and then they stop to perform. What piece of gear I recommend? I recommend a jacket with a hood. I recommend pants, and I recommend also covers for your shoes. If we are talking about very cheap plastic stuff, you can get a jacket like this for 20-30 euros with seam tapes or dollars, and very similar the pants. And those you need to keep in mind that they don't have to be too tight, because these will go on top of everything you're already wearing. So the plasticky pants will go over the pants that you're already wearing. The jacket is the same, so if you are in a cold climate, you will have some mid layer. You might already have like a wintry jacket, and this has to go on top. The same for the gloves. It might be cold, so you might have your gloves, and these they have to go on top. These you can pick them up for a few dollars or a few euros on any supermarket, or you can get them from your mother's kitchen for free. When it comes to shoe covering, you can easily cover them with plastic bags that you were given at the supermarket, and that's the cheapest way to go about it. Obviously, after a while, you will probably be wet. Even your hand, they will start to be wet because of the sweating of your body, the perspiration. But at least if the rain is very cold, you have a barrier against the rain, the cold rain. Now, very similar, when we get to the more expensive stuff, you get a jacket in Gore-Tex or Elite or Event, and this is a jacket from Shower Pass. They don't use they don't use Gore-Tex, but they use their own fabric. It's called Elite. Still, make sure that it's a 3-layer material, because there is 2 layers, 2.1, 2.2, 2.37. Just get a 3-layer material is the best. If you are already investing money, that it's better to go for the good stuff. Otherwise, just go for something very cheap. Usually the more expensive ones, especially the ones that are designed for cycling, but you can get a hard shell jacket that is multi-sport. This brand usually designs something more for cycling, and they have openings where you that helps ventilation, so it helps to stay more dry. They have a design, usually things for cycling, they have a design that we are all familiar and helps with our cycling. Important, the hood, very important. Even if you go for a cheap version, make sure it has the hood. The pants, usually they're very similar in Gore-Tex material. Again, make sure that they will fit above your existing pants that you will wearing already, and that they are they are long enough to cover your shoes as well. When it comes to the shoes, again, the same material, a 3-layer material like Gore-Tex. You can cover your shoes, whatever shoes you have, with something like this. It's very light, it packs down very small. Make sure that if you buy something like this to cover your shoes, it's not in neoprene, it's not in any material other than Gore-Tex or a very similar material, because this will not let any water get through and leak through your shoes. Neoprene material, at some point after an hour that is raining, it will start to leak through water and your shoes will be wet anyway. Gloves, there is gloves in neoprene, and I wouldn't recommend them because after a while your skin will feel like if you've been in a bath for like a few hours. So then if you have to do any navigation with your phone at some point, you basically have to remove the gloves and try to dry a little bit your hand and then touch your phone. I recommend to use a shell in the same material. This is made in Gore-Tex. Those are mittens, shell, hard shell, and you can use your gloves, your winter gloves, and then you slide these on top. And I choose the mitten. It has less dexterity if you have the 5 fingers, but it was for keeping my hands much warmer. Usually, if the weather is not too cold, you don't need those, and you probably don't need even gloves. Okay, I forgot to mention something, so I'm not sure where I'm gonna edit the video and insert it, but I showed you my solution for the gloves with the hard shell. Why did I not choose waterproof gloves? They don't exist. I tried several and they are not waterproof. They say they're waterproof, but they're not. After a while, they will start to leak water. Either after a while you're under the rain or after a while that you're using them. In my opinion, there are no waterproof gloves. And yes, I know many people, they swear that but they use them maximum for 2 hours. They haven't been 15, 18 hours cycling under the rain like I did in Alaska for several days in a row. So that's why the only solution is to have gloves or no gloves, and then a hard shell in Gore-Tex on top of it. And this was suggested to me by Alastair Humphreys, when I had many problems in Alaska and I had hypothermia twice. I couldn't move my hands. So this is the only thing that seems to work based on my experience and on experience of other adventurers like Alastair Humphreys. Now, as I said, these Gore-Tex materials or the material they use shower pads require maintenance. You have to keep them clean, otherwise the membrane doesn't breathe and so you will be wet inside. So you put them in the washing machine. There are some specific detergents like Nikwax. There are different brands. But the most important is that these materials, they have a coating that after a while wears out. After several washes and after using your gear for a while, it wears out. So you have to restore this water repellent shield that is on the fabric. And they also sell it on the market. Again, this is Nixwax, but basically after you wash your gear, you can spray on, you hang it, you spray on this material and it will restore waterproofness of your gear as when you purchased it. I wanted to keep the video a bit short, so I will not go too much in details of each piece of gear, but I will probably do a follow-up video review of my shower pass gear to give you a better idea how it performs. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what your gear choice with a comment down below. Hit the like button if you find any of this information useful or dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!